Hello again, everyone, and welcome to RosterSlam, the biggest party of the summer. Not that that is a phrase that has been used by anybody else in any
No.
other company for any other event ever.
Ever, no.
You know? Completely original, no plagiarism here. My name is Jeremy. I'm joined, as always, as I am on the main roster podcast, by my co-host Daniel. How you doing?
I'm doing very good. You must be doing better because it was your birthday yesterday, and you
Yeah,
had your
yeah.
little live stream where you're basically getting drunk and eating KFC.
Yeah, which is just perfect for me, you know. That's a good day by any standards, let alone a
and playing
birthday.
games as well.
Yes, yeah, playing some totally random games.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how long you stuck around, but we basically eventually descended into just quiz night.
Yeah, I dipped in and out throughout the night, and I was kind of every time I dipped in, I was a bit like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. No, we played some random, like, I think it was called Beast Wrestler. I was like, well, it's got wrestling in the title. I'm probably going to like this. Played Beast Wrestler, and it was basically was a random squid character.
I dipped in on that, and there was like a bubblegum looking thing.
That's it, yeah. So there was like a piece of bubblegum that was my enemy, and I was a giant squid monster.
Yeah.
But like the squid monster was too tall to actually lay on any impact on the bubblegum on the floor, so it was totally futile. The controls weren't working properly. I just kept launching myself into the ropes, as it were, but it was actually an electric fence, and it was just a total nightmare. So I rage quit that one, and we eventually went on to quiz things. Like we played Family Feud, but that was utter nonsense as well, because I don't know who the 100 people they interviewed were, but it wasn't actual real normal people with real answers.
Were they just mongs?
They were just absolute idiots. Yeah. So I went back to the old classic of Jeopardy and then won £1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Good old Jeopardy, which is now on Netflix, I've just discovered.
It is, yeah. Different collections they put on there all the time. And there's a new collection went up at the beginning of the month.
I discovered it when I went to see relatives in Canada.
Yes,
the tune still gets stuck in my head.
I think it was either yesterday morning or the morning prior to that. I just caught my 2-year-old daughter randomly singing the Jeopardy theme while she was playing in her room. So, that's parenting done right as far as I'm concerned.
Perfect. But
anyway, we are here for none of these reasons and things that we have discussed so far tonight. For those not in the know, RosterSlam is a fantasy pay-per-view event constructed of matches from wrestling past. We held a draft, quote unquote, this past Tuesday, where we tossed a coin and then each chose a match from a list of criteria, basically various different championship classifications and things like that. We also put one match out for our viewers to choose, a viewer's choice, and that is actually the match that we're going to kick things off with tonight.
Good choice.
If you are ready, Mr. Trudgett, you can take it away.
Let's go. So our opening contest was the viewer's choice, as you said, and it was to crown the first ever European champion. With tag team championship partners Owen Hart and the British Bulldogs squaring off for the prize. The two men fought a clean, scientific match, and the match was won by the British Bulldog as he countered a victory roll into a successful pin. Starting old school, I think this is
pretty old school and
good.
Pretty technical.
Yeah,
and as technical as you could probably get, really. So yeah, it's a good start to the event. I didn't realize going into it that Owen Hart and British Bulldog were the tag champions at the time.
No, I didn't either. So it was quite.
So that was an interesting nuance to it.
Yeah.
And the victory roll, or the kind of counter into the pin, seems to be a theme that followed through the rest of this event that we've constructed. Actually, there's a fair bit of that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how when we do this, obviously we put each match in independently, but we do end up somehow coming up with some kind of overarching kind of theme. It does come together quite coherently.
Yeah. It's almost like it's a proper pay-per-view that it should happen.
Is, yeah. I mean, I've been tempted to. It would only be for like my personal use only. We would never be able to like broadcast it or anything. But actually, like edit together all of the matches so that I would have a record of this was RosterSlam, this was RosterMania, and can watch it whenever I like, really, without having to derp through the WWE Network on my Android app, which is not very good, if I'm quite honest.
Yeah, well, my WWE app is working perfectly on my iPhone, and
the amount of times, right, that I was doing this and I was right, I'm going to queue up the match, I'm going to find the event, and then I'm going to do something, and then I'll come back, open up the app, and there it'll be, and I'll just cast it straight to my TV, and it'll be perfect. No, app resets itself every time you close it.
Oh man,
not helpful.
That sucks. Oh well.
Oh well, indeed.
Yeah, a good opening match though.
A good opening match, a good viewer's choice by our listener, Matt Ward, my co-host on 2 Minute Warning. I remember him being a big British Bulldog fan back in our youth, so I can see why he chose this match.
Yeah.
And there's no better European Championship match to choose than the first one.
The first ever one, yeah.
You can't beat that, so.
No. Good on it.
And the action really continued from this match into our next match, which was another affair of extremely technical, proficient people. And in that contest, the undefeated Samoan Submission Machine, I love that nickname, I wish he still was
good.
Samoa Joe took on AJ Styles and defending X Division champion, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, in a triple threat match. To say this match was a technical, high-flying affair would be an understatement, and it was the shining example of everything a triple threat match should be. The three men seemed evenly matched throughout and pulled out all the stops to try and get an advantage. After Samoa Joe crashed and burned outside the ring, Styles and Daniels fought in the ring, and the Fallen Angel went for the Angel's wings. But AJ countered into a pin and picked up a 3 count to become a that's the wrong guy, X Division champion.
How many times?
5 time. We haven't had any Booker T on one of these special events yet. I don't know how we've managed that, but love Booker
Maybe
T.
next time.
Maybe next time. Maybe for the roster series.
There we go.
Coming to the Jez Show Podcast Network in November.
Advertise.
Ching ching. So yeah, another quick kind of roll-up counter pin. 2 matches in a row.
Yes.
You couldn't really plan that.
No, you couldn't, could you?
Incredible.
Funny. But another good match.
Another good match. We did have to amend slightly due to sheer confusion. This was actually the X Division triple threat match from Unbreakable 2005. We originally, on the draft show, we picked the World Championship triple threat with the same guys from Turning Point 2009. Obviously, that didn't fit the criteria here, so we zigzagged and put the right match in. But this was the match that I was thinking of.
Yes.
Just my tiny brain getting confused about the dates and what championship it was for.
I know, when I was looking for it, I was like, I put in Turning Point 2009, I put in AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe, X Division title, and it just came out with that one. I thought, I'll click on that one. Hold on, that's the TNA World Championship he's holding right there.
What belt? I didn't actually watch the clip. What belt was it in 2009? Was it the belt I have?
No, it's the one before, the one that they put in the bin and Jeff Hardy got. That one behind me.
Yeah, I can't remember what it looks like now.
Gold and silver one with some wingy bits sticking out the top.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
And it's got studs in between the plates.
Not ringing a bell.
No, well, it was
I
a
have
crappy looking belt.
Very forgettable. So this match, I would argue, was probably the best X Division match in the company's history, in TNA's history. And that was testament to how well these guys, A, could wrestle, and B, could wrestle against each other.
Yes.
So it's a really good kind of second match for this RosterSlam card. I really miss having Christopher Daniels in a full-time ring position. I know he was always a bit older than AJ and Samoa Joe, so now he's kind of playing more of a mentor role in AEW. But I really liked the Fallen Angel gimmick. With the kind of robes and all that kind of thing. I wish he would go back to that, even if it was just as a managerial type thing, managing some kind of dark heel team.
Even if he joined the Dark Order and wore it.
There you go. They did tease that a few months ago, but nothing came of it really.
That would be pretty cool though. See him come out as the Fallen Angel, because that would kind of fit with the Dark Order, wouldn't it?
It would fit perfectly, yeah.
So, come on, AEW, don't do a WWE.
Someone from AEW may actually be listening, and I know several people who have even been referenced on the television show. So you never know. AEW might be listening. Fallen Angel, in the Dark Order. And while you're at it, try and poach AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, because I suppose they're doing okay in WWE, but
well, I know that
I just want to see this triple threat match again. Basically,
I know that AJ Styles has said he wants to finish his career in WWE.
Yeah. I mean, he's not far off doing that. I don't think. I think he's eyeing retirement with his young family. So
what
did you think of this match?
I enjoyed it. Really action-packed, shall we say, for a nice triple threat. Nice to see the six-sided ring of TNA make an appearance, which is quite cool. I always quite dig the six-sided ring because it's just a bit different to what normal wrestling.
It's special, yeah. I think that Impact Wrestling could do with bringing it back. Really, they don't really have anything that makes them stand aside from AEW or WWE really at this point. So
they brought back the TNA Championship, so why not? Even if they
bring it all back.
Even if they say like the TNA Championship can only be defended in a six-sided ring. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
Yes. And I mean the Ultimate X match works best over the top of a six-sided ring.
Yes.
Because you've still got two clear turnbuckles to do all of the high flying stuff, and two that are available to climb up to the ropes. But
that's good.
This was a great match, really. It's good to see. There was a lot of points during the match where all three men were fighting.
Yes.
There was very little of the traditional triple threat turn taking nonsense. Other than the end of the match, but you had to have one person incapacitated somehow. So I'll happily forgive that. But I have no complaints about this match at all.
I liked the bit where Samoa Joe and AJ Styles were like having a kicking competition at Christopher Daniels' expense, and it was like Samoa Joe did one, and AJ Styles was like, no, hold on, this is how you do it. Did it, and it's like Samoa Joe was like kind of like, oh, what, like this? And it's like, no, a bit more like this. I just
definitely comedy.
That was just quite a good little bit thrown in there.
Yeah.
So it was brilliant.
And there we go.
Yeah.
But the brilliant matches did not end there. No. There's a lot more still to go.
No. So in RosterSlam's first non-title match of the night, Kurt Angle took on Shane McMahon. Shane had been tormenting the Olympic gold medalist for weeks, and Angle looked for revenge in this brutal street fight. Kurt Angle was busted open above his eye quite early, and McMahon surprised the amateur wrestling expert with his countering ability. The strategy then turned to escape as Shane would retreat and choose opportune moments to dive on Angle or jump him with a weapon. The match moved up the entrance ramp where Kurt Angle attempted to suplex Shane through the stage, but the glass didn't break. On the second attempt, Shane smashed through the glass and began to bleed profusely. On the other side of the glass, it took 3 attempts to send Shane back through the other glass panel. Back in the ring, the match still wasn't over as Shane dug deep and found a way to kick out. The match would finally end after a massive Olympic slam from a board on the top ropes as Kurt Angle crawled to cover Shane McMahon for the 1-2-3. I loved this match.
Yes, yeah. That was very well read, by the way.
Thank you.
And I was like cringing at the mere reminder of some of the moments in this. I always go into what I've watched this match so many times in my life. And every time I'm like, oh, it can't be as bad as I remember. I must be hamming it up. Right. No.
It is bad.
This is bad. Because not only does Shane McMahon's head go full on into the glass and not break, then he lands headfirst onto the concrete. And that happens for the first time he tries to go through.
He must have had a concussion.
He definitely did, and I'm pretty sure I've read it might even be in Kurt Angle's autobiography. No, that seems that it came out a bit early. I've definitely read somewhere in somebody's own words, either Shane's or Kurt Angle's, that he was very concussed, and that realization came when after the first attempt to go back through the glass, and there's a moment where like Kurt Angle is basically like hugging Shane McMahon and talking straight into his ear. That is the moment that Shane basically told Angle, I have no idea what I'm doing, right? I have no idea where I am.
Jeez.
So yeah, but have you heard the story of how this all went wrong?
I've seen an interview where Kurt Angle was talking about it, and I don't think it's where it went wrong. It's just where he does the first move into the glass, but it doesn't break. And Shane just says to Kurt, "Throw me again," sort of thing, and he's like, "What?" Like that, and then it goes through, sort of thing. And I think he does it on the other side once, but then he gets concussed and all that sort of thing. So,
but the problem was, the reason that this didn't work is for most of these things, WWE order like that sugar glass stuff.
Oh yeah, so
that
fake
shatters
glass.
very easily. Yeah, this was actual tempered glass.
Jesus
Not only
Christ.
was it glass, it was hardened glass.
Jesus Christ.
Like it was like car window grade glass, which is why it just shattered into all those little diamonds.
And made everyone bleed.
Yeah, it really did. Like it was getting stuck in people's skin. Like you could see all the way up Kurt Angle's arm. It was just ripped to shreds by the glass.
Yeah.
But like regular glass would have broken off in large chunks and would have been equally as dangerous.
Yeah.
But that they placed the order incorrectly. It was tempered glass.
How did someone not die from that?
I mean, it's the dedication of these guys to actually finishing the job. Because a lot of people would have been like, okay, that didn't work. Let's just move on to the next spot.
Yes.
That's, that's a few minutes that we're going to have to make back up somehow. Let's get a table out or something.
Yeah.
Like, you ad lib it. No, not Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon.
No.
Shane McMahon, who you could argue is the king of extreme, really, with all of the stuff that he's done over the years.
I mean, you got to applaud them, haven't you? You got to applaud them for sticking with it, and it's like, man, there's no other words, is there?
No, exactly. Like it's matches like this, despite not really being the person that was on the worst end of it, but it's matches like this that shortened Kurt Angle's career and forced him into several more neck surgeries and all that kind of stuff. But it was a hell of a match. Like
hell of a match.
It's my favorite Kurt Angle match of all time.
Yeah. But as I've said before on here, my favorite matches are the extreme matches. That's why I really liked RosterSlam this year, because we had quite a few of them.
There was quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, especially as we got to some of the later kind of the Intercontinental title matches, that maybe next year when it comes around, we do a kind of main roster one night stand type thing.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
All all extreme matches.
That would be cool.
Of some description.
That would be cool.
You know, mix it up, try something new. We've got plenty of time to think about it and find some of the more extreme matches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
Book it in for whenever that is, next May or June.
Somewhere.
Anything else to say about this match?
Not really, just it was brilliant.
Cheers, guys. Keep up the good work.
Yes, keep hurting yourself.
Well, speaking of hurting yourself,
yes,
that's pretty much all that happened in this next match, where the tag team championships were on the line, as the champions Edge and Christian defended the gold against the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys in a tables, ladders, and chairs match, the first of its kind, in fact. The chairs and ladders made an early appearance in the match, with all three teams putting them to good use as weapons. And with no real break from the violence, each team beat the other senseless with intermittent attempts to reach the championships. But eventually, Bubba Ray Dudley crashed through a stack of tables, Jeff Hardy and Devon Dudley dropped from great heights, and everyone else was incapacitated, so Edge and Christian were able to climb the ladder and retrieve the championships.
Yeah, another extreme one.
Another one, yes. Yeah.
Got my boy Jeff Hardy in it.
And I have very fond memories about this pay-per-view as a whole. Yeah. It was the first pay-per-view that I watched on Sky Sports.
Oh.
After I worked my butt off to be able to get a Sky Sports subscription and get all that installed. And so this was my first big pay-per-view. I'd only seen the ones that had been on Channel 4 before.
Yeah.
And they were good, but this one was a special one for me.
Yeah.
And it had matches like this in it. And do you know what I think sets this kind of... We've had lots of TLC matches and lots of matches with extreme kind of rules. But do you know what I think sets this apart from some of those other matches?
What?
The pace. The fact that they just went from spot to spot to spot to spot to spot. And sometimes that can be a little off-putting in a match. But these guys managed to move through their stuff really quickly, but it all linked together really neatly. They obviously planned this really meticulously to think, right, how can we keep a match flow going that involves as many people as possible at any given time? And it's a triple threat match at the end of the day, so you're always going to have some people excluded, and that becomes exacerbated when it's a tag team triple threat, because then you've got to have 6 people taking turns rather than 3. And so each group that weren't involved had time to go and set things up on the sly around the ring, so that they could be watching and go, right, this spot's coming to an end, or I need to come and interject right at the end so that I could be kicked in the face and be in the right position to go straight into the next thing. And it was just so well executed. These guys obviously were the best of the best at doing this kind of thing, tag team wrestling. My 3 kind of favorite tag teams of all time. Not so much when each of them tried to go individual, or I think actually when they tried to go individual, there's only one individual that I like from that crop. But 2 actually. I'll go 2. I can let you guess who those 2 are in a minute. But as units, these guys are the best.
They are.
With a shining example of what tag team wrestling should have been, really. Should have developed from.
Yes, definitely.
Have you guess who are my 2 singles choices from these teams?
Matt Hardy, because you like his broken brilliance.
Okay, 3 then. I forgot about Matt Hardy.
How could you forget about Matt Hardy?
Oh, I don't know, man.
And your impression of him, that's so good.
I would do it now, but my memory was definitely not wonderful, so I'm not gonna insult the guy.
Let me think. Another one. I want to say Bubba Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked Bully Ray's singles run in TNA. That was great. The one that they tried in WWE, you've probably not even seen it, and that's good for you. But no, his singles run, pardon me, his singles run in TNA, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
He definitely held the belt that I have.
Yes, he definitely did. I know that much.
And then pick one from the other remaining team.
Oh, I'm just trying to think whether you'll go conventional or not.
Conventional? What?
So Christian.
Yeah. I was a big Christian guy. I was a peep.
Yeah. Oh, you like the peep show?
Yes. Who doesn't like a good peep show,
eh? And moving on.
Moving on swiftly.
Yes. So, everybody, box of tissues at the ready, please. Raise a glass if you have them.
Or a can.
Or a can, there you are. This next match is a heartbreaker, kid. The match between the match between Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels started as a classic old school wrestling match, but quickly came crashing into the modern era after HBK attempted a moonsault from the ring apron, but went smashing into an announce table after Flair ducked out of the way. HBK was more successful with a moonsault from the top rope to the outside of the ring, taking Flair down and sending him back into the ring to set up for the Sweet Chin music. Just as Michael seemed poised to pull the trigger and put Flair away, he hesitated and allowed Ric Flair to state a comeback. After hitting a quick super kick out of nowhere, Shawn tuned up the band for one more time, looked Flair in the eye and said, "I'm sorry, I love you," and did the deed. He then pinned Flair for the victory and left the Nature Boy in the ring to say goodbye to the RosterSlam crowd. Yeah. He supposedly was going to go away, but he never did.
Yeah, well, he didn't really step back into the ring, so I'll give him full credit for that. Did not expect the retirement to stick from that sense, but it did. And then obviously after the match, you've got a young Ashley Flair, also known as Charlotte.
Yeah.
And Reed, who unfortunately is no longer with us.
No.
And David Flair, who people hadn't seen since WCW, so that was interesting. The forgotten Flair.
The forgotten Flair, because Charlotte has all the limelight.
Yeah.
But
this match was a lot quicker than I remember.
Yeah.
I think I may confuse this with Shawn Michaels matches with The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which are long matches.
Yeah.
This one was relatively quick. But I think it was the perfect length of time, considering, Ric Flair obviously wasn't a spring chicken anymore at this stage.
He was an older chap.
He could still do what he could do. But we weren't going to have any kind of stamina-based matches from Ric Flair. He was never going to be high-flying and take it from the top rope, so best to end it.
That was HBK doing that in this match.
It was, yeah.
And crashed and burned into the announce table.
And it looks kind of weird as well. I don't know what happened to the announce table, but it just kind of folded.
He kind of landed on it and then just bonk.
Yeah. It didn't break. It kind of just folded a bit. Like it
gave up.
Yeah. I can't be bothered to break. It's too hot. Now I'm going to fall over and then collapse.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. It's a bit like the announce table was a trainee wrestler who doesn't quite know how to take a bump properly yet or react to punches. And you just punch him and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to fall."
Oh yeah.
That was the announce table in this match. Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, I'll just fold.
I didn't know he was in NXT.
Yeah. That announce table's come a long way, man.
Oh,
Now he knows how to break and how not to fold. Eventually, he'll be promoted to Spanish announce table. They break all the time.
Yeah, they always use the foreign ones.
But did you like this match?
I did actually quite enjoy it. You know, like it's a bit like, you know, when we did the old retro roster, we went right back and we saw like Ric Flair versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. To see like that Ric Flair to where he retired, quite an interesting transition.
Yeah. Obviously, that retro roster match, I think, was 1982 or thereabouts.
Like that,
so that was Ric Flair in the height of his career, in his prime. And we were looking at obviously two very different experiences. But I think that Ric Flair did a really good job.
Yeah.
And Shawn Michaels did a fantastic job of like hiding any imperfections that would have happened in Ric Flair's game, as it were.
Yeah.
So as a retirement match, I think it was spot on.
It was pretty good.
There's no real risk of Ric Flair not being happy with it and having to come back and do it again in an Undertaker kind of way.
Yeah.
There's no way that he couldn't have been satisfied with that match, I don't think.
No, but
and that's really all you want from a last match of your career.
That's how I'd want to retire.
Being kicked in the face.
By Shawn Michaels. Well,
and on that note, let's move from one Flair to another.
Yes.
As the next contest at RosterSlam is the winner-take-all match for all the gold in the women's division. SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, and challenger Becky Lynch squared off in a triple threat match. Lots of triple threat matches on this card as well.
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
Charlotte Flair arrived by helicopter. Ronda Rousey was played to the ring by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. And Becky Lynch had some
smoke.
Great.
Steam. Thanks. Or whatever it is.
A brawl of strikes broke out early between Rousey and Lynch before all three women took the action to the outside of the ring, bouncing each other off the barricade. Throughout the match, the three women took turns to have one-on-one situations in the ring and wore each other down with stiff strikes, punishing submissions, and well-executed maneuvers. With each woman beaten, battered, and bruised, Charlotte Flair was sent crashing through a table and out of the ring. Meanwhile, Rousey went to deliver Piper's Pit, but Becky Lynch countered into a crucifix pin and was able to walk away from RosterSlam as Becky Two Belts.
Yeah.
Another pin counter. That's our third of this event.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Need to fire that continuity booker. All these matches are the same. I demand my money back.
No.
Now, obviously, this match wasn't very long ago. In fact,
no.
I think it's the most recent match on this card, if I'm remembering correctly. Well, yep, it is.
Yeah, well,
it definitely will be. Most of the others are from the Attitude Era, aren't they?
Yeah, it wasn't WrestleMania just gone. It was the WrestleMania before. So
that's right. Yeah,
it was last year. So very recent. But yeah, it's still a good match. Still,
yeah. I mean, I've got kind of two conflicting opinions about this match. So
go on, then.
Watching it now has kind of given me the opportunity to like try and throw away any context that comes with it and just look at it as it is,
as a match.
Yeah, for two championships with between three very good women. And so looking at it there, unblinkered, unbiased, it is objectively a really good match. There's a lot to like. Ronda Rousey does a really good job of playing that kind of aggressive heel who doesn't really care about your well-being and is just going to beat you up and take what she wants, lock you in a submission, make you tap. Becky Lynch is that scrappy underdog who also isn't, afraid of of a fight or locking you in a submission that's going to tear your arm off. And Charlotte Flair's the cocky, like know-it-all, who you want to see get punched in the face, but doesn't get punched in the face quite as much as you'd like, because you've always got to leave the audience wanting more.
Yeah.
So looking at it in its own right, it is a great match. But then on the other side, I can't help but remember the context of, April or whenever it was of 2019, whereby Asuka was the SmackDown Women's Champion, and they shoehorned Charlotte in to take her championship and just ram her into this match for absolutely no reason. Where Ronda Rousey had run roughshod over the women's division, and not in a good way. Like the entire roster of women on both Raw and SmackDown, and even a few on NXT, had just been fed to her for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, I know.
And totally destroyed the women's division. It's only really now, thanks to the likes of Bayley and Sasha Banks and Asuka, that it's actually recovering.
Yeah.
And then, I don't have a problem with what Becky Lynch was doing at the time. Like, she was the obvious person to win the belt and carry on that babyface run that was just on fire at the time. But the fact that this match happened as it happened, involving Charlotte, involving Ronda Rousey in that capacity, it just leaves me with a bitter taste, and that's so I can't fully appreciate and enjoy this match for what it is when I apply that context. So I'm not sure which of those kind of conflicting feelings is my true feeling. I think I am probably somewhere in the middle. But I just can't help but remember all of the crap that came with this match, unfortunately.
I know. I always remember when it was like Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble, which was fantastic. Everyone was behind it. Everyone was happy about it. And then all of a sudden, I think it was Vince McMahon came out and said, "Oh yeah, we're also putting Charlotte Flair in your match." It's like, and everyone was like, "Why? Why does that need to happen?" It's I mean, it's great.
It's part of the reason that I wanted to start a wrestling podcast, because I was just so angry at the time with no outlet for it.
Yeah. But no, it was good. It was great to see Becky get the 2 belts anyway. But they could have gone around it in another way. But it is what it is, and I've never really been a fan of Ronda Rousey in WWE.
She was growing on me as the time went on, but I would have preferred to see a slow burn, to actually have her actually really work her way through the women's division, not just bulldoze through them. Like the idea that she came in from the street, even though she was a UFC MMA fighter, and she would just pick it up and be able to be the top of the division immediately.
All of a sudden,
kind of bogus. Yeah. So I didn't like that.
No.
And didn't she beat Alexa Bliss for the belt as well? That didn't help.
Yeah, she also broke Alexa Bliss's arm.
Yeah.
When she did one of her stupid armbar things, she wrenched it too much, being untrained, and broke that bone there. So
great.
As soon as that happened, I was like, "You
death to Rousey! You're dead to me, Ronda.
You're dead to me, Ronda. You broke Alexa Bliss's arm."
Yeah. So mixed feelings about this match, but as a women's match to go into this card, I think it fits very nicely with the others. So I'm not mad at it. It had its kind of hardcore element. It was kind of as brutal as it could be, without bleeding everywhere and all that kind of Attitude Era stuff. So it definitely fit in the context of this RosterSlam card. I'll give you that.
The way Ronda Rousey flipped the table, went tables are for bitches, and then on the commentary they said, Oh, Ronda Rousey said she doesn't need a table, and then I think it was Renee Young just went, well, she didn't quite put it like that.
I did like Renee
Renee.
Young on commentary. I really enjoyed her on commentary. It's a shame she hated doing it.
Yeah, I know, but she was quite good. So,
Hmm.
but anyway, moving on.
Yes, let's do it.
Played to the ring by an excellent group of face-painted taiko drummers, the icon known as Sting took on WWE's version of the Terminator, Triple H. Next at RosterSlam. In the early going of the match, Sting surprised Triple H with his technical skills, drawing chants of "You still got it" from the RosterSlam crowd. As the match progressed, Triple H started to wear down the icon with headlocks and sleeper holds. Sting countered into the Scorpion Deathlock and looked close to picking up the win, but this drew out Road Dogg, X-Pac, Billy Gunn, D-Generation X. Sting took care of the aging degenerates, but Triple H got himself a sledgehammer. This drew out Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan, the NWO. And the Monday Night War resumed outside the ring. Sting hit the reverse DDT on Triple H and gained a near fall before locking in the Scorpion Deathlock. Just as it looked like the game would tap out, the hold was broken by sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels. As Sting began to build momentum again, he went for the Stinger Splash in the corner, but Triple H held up his sledgehammer to the face of the icon and was able to pick up the win by pinfall.
I wish I could remember how I felt about this match when it happened, but I can't.
Well, it's Sting's first match in WWE.
Yeah. That's what they said on commentary, but I don't remember it being that way. I thought he had the thing with Rollins first.
No, Rollins was after.
Was it?
Yeah, because he came into WWE and he said he's come to WWE because he's fed up of Triple H running around like he owns the place and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he went on that with Triple H first, and then he wanted a title run, so he went after Rollins. But then I think it was Rollins that injured Sting in a bad way, so he obviously had to stop wrestling. So
yeah. I do particularly remember the Sting and Rollins match. I thought that was a really good match. I may be completely misremembering that and need to go back and have a look sometime. But yeah, this was what it was. Really, it was just a nostalgia trip for fans of the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah,
and WCW against WWF.
Yeah.
Triple H's leg looked nasty, and I don't know what happened there.
No, but it was
as
really
seems
bad.
to be the tradition for Triple H's matches since he kind of went into semi-retirement. Some muscle has to tear itself from the bone.
Yeah.
That's like a criteria of a Triple H match now.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
He's been learning from his buddy Kevin Nash, who manages to injure himself performing basic things like stepping.
Yeah. Triple H, cool it down a bit.
Like, of all the people that were involved in this, the one person you think, oh no, he's in good ring shape, he's not going to get injured, is Triple H.
Triple H, yeah.
But it's always Triple H that tears something and gets injured. I don't know.
Hey, it doesn't
Don't know
matter.
how he does it.
He's basically running the company, so he's got lots of money, so he doesn't need to wrestle.
Yeah. I don't even think he cares about the money, to be honest. He likes the power. He likes being in control, and and I suppose the love of it. Yeah, he is. He is the game after all.
He loves being a mini Vinny.
Mini Vinny, I love it. That's a great phrase. Vinny.
There you go.
But for me, as a big fan of the NWO, it was great to see those guys come out. Same for DX, really. It was great to see that happen. As far as the match itself, somewhat of a match that happened.
Yeah.
We weren't going to get a really kind of long, drawn-out technical match from these two. Sting hadn't been in the ring for about a year at this point since he left TNA.
Yeah.
So he was not quite in perfect ring shape, and obviously he was on the older side of things.
Well, you can see that by his bald spot.
Yeah.
Bit embarrassing.
Yeah, what was more embarrassing for me was some of the commentary about, especially from JBL, whom I really like on commentary, but all the nonsense about, like Sting came looking for his WrestleMania moment and like he couldn't find it and all that kind of nonsense, and that Sting would never be able to cut it in WWE, which is why when WCW got bought out, he didn't bother. It's like, dude, just shut up.
Yeah,
you're just trying to be like fake edgy to tell a story, and it's not working. You just sound like a dick. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, that's JBL, really, isn't it?
I mean, it is, yeah, but normally he curbs that a little bit when he's on commentary.
Yeah, he's a bit bad normally, isn't he? But yeah,
saves it for when he's on Fox News with all of the other morons.
You sound like you got a problem with that.
This is not a political podcast.
Moving swiftly on.
Let's move swiftly on to one of the best Intercontinental Championship matches of all time, in my opinion. But put the children to bed, because it's time for the No Holds Barred Falls Count Anywhere match for the Intercontinental Championship, as Randy Orton defends against Mick Foley as Cactus Jack. The weapons came out early as Foley launched into attack with his trusty barbed wire bat, busting the Legend Killer open. Foley intended to set Barbie on fire. That's the name of his bat, in case you weren't keeping score. But he was prevented in doing so by General Manager Eric Bischoff, so instead went to get a sheet of wood covered in barbed wire, as you do. This would come back to bite him, though, as Orton was able to throw chalk in the eyes of Foley and slam him into his own barbed wire board. With the barbed wire mangling the arm of Foley, Orton poured a bag of thumbtacks into the ring. Orton attempted to deliver the RKO onto the tacks, but Foley stood firm and threw Randy down into the pins. A horrified Orton tried to run away, but Foley made chase and threw him off the stage through an electronic box before following himself with a huge elbow drop. Back in the ring, Foley locked in the mandible claw, but Orton countered it into an RKO. Mick was able to kick out, but the reprieve was short-lived after the Legend Killer dropped Foley with a second RKO onto the barbed wire bat and pinned him.
Well done.
Carnage, man. Absolute carnage.
Yeah.
And I loved every single second of it.
I loved it. I've only seen like bits of this match before now. So like I've seen the thumbtack bit because that's a big moment, I think. But seeing it in its entirety is brilliant. I'd happily watch it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you probably will watch it again, because I'm sure it will come up again on one of the things that we do. Maybe even looking at that event as a whole, because that was quite an interesting pay-per-view, Backlash 2004. Lots of things
Retro
happened
roster.
there. Maybe. But yeah, like I can't say enough good things about this match. And it was such a turning point for Randy Orton in terms of the Legend Killer gimmick up to this point was basically him kicking incapacitated old people in the head and claiming victory for it.
Yeah.
It was only when he came across a guy like Mick Foley, who wasn't going to stand for this crap anymore.
Yeah.
And wasn't going to be walked over by this cocky punk.
Yeah.
That it really, from this moment, like getting that victory really propelled him forward as the Legend Killer. And it led very, very soon to Randy Orton's first World Championship. So mere months through to the summer of 2004 where that happened. So
yeah.
1 moment, your camera has gone squiffy.
I've gone squiffy.
Oh
dear.
I don't know why it happens, but it does. There you go. Non-squiffy Dan is back.
I'm non-squiffy.
So I really like this match.
Yeah.
The Intercontinental Championship to a certain extent was an afterthought. Like, we didn't need the belt to be involved. It didn't really matter.
No.
This was a personal kind of grudge match.
Yeah.
But it was for the belt, and that just really added to how great it was, really.
Yeah. But there's a few bits that kind of confused me. Like when Orton got the thumbtacks out and he was going to RKO Mick Foley onto it. It's kind of like you're going to hurt yourself probably more than Mick by doing that.
The way the RKO works is there's not going to be very much of Mick Foley that actually hits these thumbtacks.
No.
Maybe even none of him.
Yeah.
So
but your whole back, basically what actually
happened.
Actually happened would have happened in your original plan, mate. So
use your
what
head.
Are you doing? What are you doing, mate? Come on. But
he should have gone for like a DDT or something, and
works on a DDT,
any other move,
something else. But and there was another bit that was when Mick got busted open on his head near the end of the match. You can actually see him cut his own forehead.
Yeah, well before he's actually impacted.
He's setting up the barbed wire board, isn't he? And all of a sudden, you just see him just go like this, or something.
Well, did you notice that he actually got the razor blade from? There's a little kind of hole in the board where they've made it into look like a handle, and there's he prized the blade out of it, and then he was like, right, I'm going to go and set up the thing again. Oh, there we go. And then he went over to Orton. He didn't hide it very well at all. No,
that was kind of there. He just get his out of it.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a fail on Cactus's part, but that was really my only. Those two that you mentioned were my only two complaints of the match, really. And considering Foley hadn't actually been in the ring for 4 years at that point.
Wow.
When he retired at No Way Out 2000. When Triple H beat him in a Hell in a Cell match. So he had a fake kind of return at WrestleMania the month after, but we don't count that. We deliberately forget that. So this was a great kind of swan song in WWE.
Very good.
But did you know that he actually has another return run in TNA close to the end of the decade?
I did see something that he was in TNA and had a bit of a thing in there.
And
it
was all right, actually. He mostly did hardcore matches, so he wasn't asked to do something he couldn't do. And he had a great feud with Ric Flair, actually. Like I say, Ric Flair didn't really go back to the ring. I forgot about the nonsense he did in TNA. Totally forgot about that until this moment. So I'll shut my mouth. He did break his own retirement thing. Screw you, Rick. Made a liar out of me.
It seems that all retired wrestlers go to TNA.
Or just unretire within a few years.
I mean, there's been loads of WWE legends that have gone over there. Kurt Angle, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Chyna. She went over there very briefly.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was very weird, but
and still now, like, okay, maybe not legends, but you've got Rhino and Rob Van Dam over there still going.
ECW legends, they would be.
But long beyond their sell-by date, shall we say?
Yes. But shall we move on to our main event,
Mm-hmm.
which is for the WWF Championship, with The Rock defending against Stone Cold Steve Austin in a no disqualification match that seemed to be announced at the last second. The match got off to a quick start with both men laying in stiff strikes and battling through the crowd. Back in the ring, Austin began to dominate The Rock, taking full advantage of a no disqualification stipulation, as a tongue twister, and ignoring the referee's pleas to ease off the champion. Stone Cold bloodied the People's Champion and continued to wear him down throughout the match, but The Rock managed over and over again to find something within him to kick out or refuse to submit. Just as The Rock manages to gain an advantage, Mr. McMahon struts down the entrance ramp, and when The Rock makes a cover on Austin, bizarrely, Vince pulls The Rock off. The confusion continues when Austin demands Vince McMahon bring a chair into the ring, and Austin holds The Rock up while he smashes it across his skull. The Rock still refusing to die, McMahon continues to distract the champion, and after a barrage of brutal chair shots and continued assistance from Vince, Austin is finally able to get a 3 count and win the WWF Championship. Stone Cold and Miss McMahon celebrate over the broken carcass of The Rock with a couple of Steve Weisers as RosterSlam rolls off the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very good one.
So I have already squeed about this match today when I watched it, and then I spoke with my wife about it. So I love this match.
Yeah.
But it has to be said, I didn't when it first happened.
Oh.
And I remember vividly the whole thing of watching this event and the whole night following. So this was 2001, so I'm in high school. I'm either in year 10 or year 11. So tape the event the night before and then come straight home from school and watch it. Me and Matt Ward, we went straight to my house, put on the event. Big Stone Cold Steve Austin fans, not a fan of The Rock at all. I'm not. Matt was slightly, but that's another story. So when Stone Cold Steve Austin, who had just spent the last 5 years of his career fighting against Vince McMahon and being screwed over and over and over by him, and having this massive comeback story where he'd broken his neck and been run over by Rikishi and all that stuff, to then ally himself with Vince McMahon, 14-year-old me was livid. And we were with the Air Cadets at the time, so we went straight from watching this pay-per-view straight through to the Air Cadets, and you could not shut either of us up about how livid we were that Stone Cold Steve Austin had allied himself with Vince McMahon for the entire time. People were so pissed off. It's we don't care. We don't care. I'm like, well, you're gonna care because I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm so annoyed with this. And so looking back, the job was done, man. When you look at this match, it is the most perfect heel turn of all time. And it's a shame that because of the invasion thing with WCW coming in, the heel run kind of fizzled out and didn't really pay off in the end. It didn't work in the long term. But from this moment through him teaming with Triple H and doing the 2-man power trip, it is incredible to have taken the biggest babyface in the company and completely turn people against him. His biggest fans, kids like I was at the time, completely against him. And in this match, the crowd were cheering for Austin and they were booing The Rock. Both of these guys were baby faces. They had kind of built The Rock as a bit of a dick throughout the whole build to this, but still, he was a babyface. You were supposed to like both of these guys. So they were already booing The Rock, and then they were booing Austin even more profusely when that turn happened.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people were screaming and shouting.
Yeah.
At that.
Like, if you think about how I felt at the time, imagine being there. Imagine being in the Houston Astrodome when that happened. I would have thrown my chair at someone. Like, I would have thrown my chair in the ring, like, tried to take Vince's head off or something.
You'd have tried to do what Sammy Guevara did to Matt Hardy.
I would. Launched straight into the forehead.
Yes.
But yeah, enough of my squeeing and enjoyment.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this match? Was it the first time you saw it?
It's the first time I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And I did forget that Austin had turned heel briefly. And to see it happen when it happened, like as soon as I saw Vince McMahon coming down, I thought, shit, is this when it happens? So, and then it obviously you see him pull the Rock off, and it's like, oh crap, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you're having like a moment in self, like, okay, am I ready for this? I don't know if I'm ready for this. All right. That's what was happening. But it was cool, and it was another extreme match. And I like to see the old school Austin using his middle finger at the ref. It's like the ref is like, come on, break the hole, break the hole. He's like, no. It was just brilliant.
Yeah. And that actually, you know, as a Jeff Hardy fan, I would recommend that, you know, carve out some time in the next couple of weeks and just follow on from this WrestleMania. Watch Raw, SmackDown through to Backlash and then through right up until, I want to say, King of the Ring. Like that 2 or 3 month period is utter perfection.
Yeah.
And as a Jeff Hardy fan, there is a lot there that you're going to appreciate as well. I don't know if you know the history of that point and what happens. So go into it blind, and enjoy it, and we'll talk about it on the main roster, because I'm really interested to see your perspective on, you know, Austin and Triple H as a team, and then what happens a bit later with the people that oppose them and get involved with them. So yeah. So what, you know, you got the WWE Network. Watch that couple of months.
I'll find it and see how I get through.
Take your time. Maybe we'll discuss like a week at a time as part of the main roster or something.
Yeah,
if you can find the time to watch an extra Raw and SmackDown every week.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll squeeze it in. See what I can do, because they weren't as long back then. So
no, you got like an hour and 35 minutes for Raw and about an hour and 20 for SmackDown. So
exactly. So I'll probably squeeze that in somewhere. But
I'm going to watch it again myself, because why the hell not?
So from that WrestleMania onwards.
Yeah. So watch the Raw after Mania, and then just keep watching it through. And then, you know, we'll be discussing it. So I'll say, okay, you can stop now. Not that it gets much worse, but then it really goes into the invasion, the WCW invasion story, and So then you get to the King of the Ring that we watched, and that's really the last place where this kind of Austin turning heel story finishes. And tapers off. So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So we've got two things to do. We've gone through the card and we've discussed it. We've got two things to do. First, we need to compare this really to the only other event of this kind that we've done in WrestleMania.
Yes.
Now you mentioned to me, you slipped to me on Messenger that you think you enjoyed this event more than WrestleMania. Do you stand by that, or change your mind?
No, I stand by it. I enjoyed it much more than WrestleMania, but I think mostly because it had the more extreme matches in it. But I just enjoyed it, and I was kind of glued to it all the way through.
Yeah, there was a lot that and as I said, it kind of flowed. Like all of the matches kind of linked to each other.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of Attitude Era in this.
Mm.
And I'm very unapologetic about that, but that kind of helped keep it in the same kind of continuity and context, I think.
Yes.
I'm not sure which I preferred, actually.
Ooh.
I mean, I think it is this. When you consider the Kurt Angle Shane McMahon match and the X Division match and this main event, this definitely this. It's definitely this. There's no question.
Mind you, the RosterMania we had my mum and dad watching.
That's true. That was entertaining all in and of itself. I dread to think what would have come out if we'd have made your mum watch some of these bloody brutal matches.
Yeah, I don't think she would have watched it.
I would like you just at any point, just as an aside, is to set your mic up.
Yeah.
And just have her watch the Kurt Angle Shane McMahon match. I just want to hear her reaction when the glass doesn't break and he lands on his head over and over and over again. I just want to see what she says.
I kind of want to see that because I have asked my mum and dad about it, and they said we might not do like a full pay-per-view,
a whole thing,
but we'll do like a match sort of thing. Yeah. So I think I might have to do that with my mum and dad and see what happens because I think that would be funny.
Do that match, and a few weeks down the line, I'll release it as bonus material for RosterSlam.
Yes. I'll see if I can get that done.
Okay, so the other thing that we need to do is we need to give this event a rating.
Yes.
And so for RosterSlam, the inaugural RosterSlam, I would like you to give me a barbed wire bats out of 5 rating.
I think I'll go for 4.
4? Okay.
Very generous. Mostly because of all the extreme matches in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would have to be even more kind of generous than that. I'm going to give it 4 1/4.
Flipping egg.
It would be 4.5, maybe even like 4 3/4, getting closer to 5, were it not for the baggage of the women's match.
Yes.
If I could completely reconcile that in my mind, I would have rated it near perfect.
Yes.
But I couldn't, unfortunately.
It's strange. Usually it's me giving the higher
praise.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty harsh when it comes to rating wrestling. I'm not going to give the high rating unless it's sheer perfection.
Yeah.
But there is so much well executed story and like match control and all of that in this event. We really did like happen upon, I suppose, a very coherent card. Like we picked the best matches, obviously, but there's no guarantee that they're going to gel together nicely. But that's what happened in this event, in my opinion.
Cool.
So there we go. Our second fantasy pay-per-view in the books.
Went well.
So our next one is going to be based around the Survivor Series. So that will come in November. Survivor Series is the weekend after Thanksgiving most of the time. So we will do it for the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Yeah. So we're looking mid-November. Yeah. Somewhere around there. Try and promote it a bit more in advance this time. I've been a bit slack. Looked at the calendar and was like, oh, SummerSlam's next week. Better go on with this RosterSlam thing.
I think everything's been crazy with COVID and everything, so it kind of crept up on us.
It did, yeah. But that didn't stop us from putting together a fantastic event.
Oh, yeah, very good.
And it's not the last time I'm going to see the majority of these matches. I don't.
No, I want to, well, especially the Kurt Angle Shane McMahon one.
Yes,
my mum.
Make that happen. Yeah, do that, and then go straight into your 2001 watch.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. So, if people want to get in touch with you on social media, point you in directions maybe, and discuss this 2001 stuff with you, how can they do that?
Twitter at DannyT259.
Lovely. As always, you can contact me via my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Facebook.com/The Jez Show, Twitter.com/The Jez Show, Instagram.com/The Jez Show _IG. Check out all of the other live streams and podcasts on my Twitch channel across the Jez Show network. Twitch.tv/ affiliate. Twitch.tv/The Jez Show. Video gaming, obviously, because it's Twitch. A bit later in the week. The next thing that is on this channel is 2 Minute Warning tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Monday night. And then we're back with our regularly scheduled main roster at 3 p.m. British Standard Time, British Summer Time, rather, on Tuesday.
Woohoo!
I doubt you're going to get one of the Raws and SmackDowns in by Tuesday, are you? What do you think?
Might do.
Might do. Okay. Well, you can let me know, and
I'll let you know.
I'll do my best to watch them as well, and we'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So until Tuesday for us.
Yep.
Thank you very much for tuning into this special RosterSlam event. I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.